Hello and welcome to the Rockdale City. In this video, I would like to do something slightly different. This is not going to be an overview of something that I've already built, but this is going to be kind of more like a Let's Play video series. Well, a series. It's probably going to be a few episodes. I would like to do these episodes at 20 minutes length, so it's going to be a few of them. What is this going to be all about? Well, in these episodes, I would like to finish or expand the industrial zone in the city of Rockdale. It's the zone that I already featured in multiple videos in this channel, and as you can see, it's located here on the right side. Now, this footage is the live stream. This is the footage from my live stream, recorded at some higher quality, so I can put it on YouTube. This is going to be heavily edited down, and I'm just going to do a commentary on top of that. So the mouse movements are probably not going to correspond exactly to what I'm explaining right now. Also, the videos are going to be played at higher speed. Alright, so expanding the industrial zone. I would like to do that in this area right here. The reason for that is simple. I want to have higher taxes because industrial zones generate more income than, for example, offices. And also I would like to just solve the unemployment of the city, which is kind of going up, or at least it was when I was starting to do the zone. And I just wanted to do a better zone, or bigger zone, industrial zone. Alright, so let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is prepare the railroads. Now in here I have the old bridge over the river, to the other side of the river. Please excuse the other side of the river, it's not exactly finished. But yeah, we need to start with this bridge. So first I needed to destroy it completely, as you can see here. Some of the footage from the stream is going to be quite clunky because I was obviously, talking to the chat and so on. Anyway, as you can see here, I also have like a bypass railroad bypassing the station, the cargo station that's right across the river. It's very important and because if you don't do it, you get quite significant problems with trains. Because obviously some trains want to go to different station than this one, so they should have an ability to go around. In here I'm just destroying the curve that was here. I'm going to create it again, just like this, so I can have the bridges over the river straight. I'm doing two bridges because I want to have another railroad going through the new industrial zone, and it's going to go through the second bridge. Those bridges are going to be actually connected. I think I'm going to show you that in the next episode. I'm probably not going to do that now. I don't exactly remember the stream footage. In here I kind of wanted to make a junction so that I don't have to do multiple level solution in here, but then I decided against that because there's going to be quite a high number of trains. So multi-level solution is probably going to be better. This the railroad that I destroyed is going to go over the one that's down here. As you can see, I'm preparing the terrain for that, and just using the fine road tools. Fine road tools, straight slope feature, very very needed for these kinds of works. I'm switching for the bridge type, so we can have a nice bridge over the railroad, and then just leave it like that. I'm gonna continue with that somewhere else. So as you can see, I'm going to have like a cross. One railroad going that direction, one going the perpendicular direction. In here I'm just using a gravel road to mark the end of the zone. So I can just, tell where exactly am I going to build the zone. So yeah. Now in here, I'm going to try to position the stations, the cargo stations. Obviously, I would like to do something very similar to the existing industrial zone. So I'm just doing these cargo stations. Now, I just placed them, 6 of them. I thought I would need 6 of them. 4 stations in the direction going to the downtown, as you can see, which is the railroad that's currently horizontal to this view, on this view. And 2 train stations going down across the river, across the new bridge that we built. So I'm just using Move It and positioning these stations kind of, well, not randomly, but I'm just trying out various positions for these stations. As you can see, it was not exactly all that easy, but at the same time, there are obviously multiple solutions that you can do here, so there's probably not one correct position for these stations. I destroyed one of those stations because I thought that, well, I definitely want to have this zone profitable, which means that I don't need to do, well, I cannot afford to do more stations that I actually need, because then, you know, the zone is not going to make any money. I'm going to be losing that on the maintenance of the infrastructure, of the train stations. I destroyed a few more stations and I only kept these 5 stations, and this is pretty much how it's going to stay. And the positions are actually going to be like that as well. All right, so we also need to do the highway connections. So in here, I just decided to pretty much exactly copy the highway connection that I have for the already existing zone. So I'm just measuring how I did this Y-shaped splitting point. You can call it like that probably. Just doing the 3-lane highway towards the interchange. The interchange, I think I redid the interchange or reworked the interchange probably almost to the, well, at the end of the build. So it's probably going to be in the later episodes. But so far we're just trying to create some kind of a connection, just like we did on the other side. A lot of measuring, as you can see. I'm just trying to get it right exactly like it was on the other side. So this is just the one split. And now I'm going to measure it for the second one. Now the first split, the one that I built last, or the one that I built second, is going to go to the zone, or to the side of the industrial zone that's closest in here. And then the second one is going to go over the railroads to the other side of the, well, closer to the river. Yeah, I'm doing that connection in here. Again, a lot of measuring, a lot of kind of a trial and error, actually. I think it took me around, I don't know, 4 streams, I think, to completely do the industrial zone. It definitely took a long time. It's not like the actual construction was like hard or anything, but it was just a lot of planning, you know? A lot of planning, a lot of thought how to do that. And here I'm just trying to finalize the shape of this newly built highway, just position it correctly how it should be. Nothing really hard, but I am trying to be very precise here. I was having some issues with street lamps because I wanted to have the street lamps on the same side. Well, not the same side, but, well, as you can see now, it's not, the street lamps are not in the middle of the highways. I would have to redo that in Asset Editor probably. I didn't want to bother with that too much. So the highway bridge in here over the railroads, pillars are exactly where they should be, so that's fine. And that's probably it for the highway now. So now I decided that I really need to redo the railroad that's going straight, the other direction that's going straight through the new zone. So in here I'm just trying to destroy it all the way to the point where it goes straight. Because this was like a huge curve, but I wanted to straighten it out a bit and make the curve only in the middle. Basically where it goes under the other straight connection through the zone. So in here I'm just doing a straight railroad, unlike we had before. Again, a lot of planning, a lot of kind of thought, decisions. Basically this build is all about making decisions, and as I said, you can do it in multiple ways, so it was kind of hard to just start. After you start, after you do something, then it's usually easy to just build around that. But the first idea, the first decision is always the hardest. And as you can see, I'm just trying to build like a smaller curve to connect these two together. Now, unfortunately, if you do multiple segments like that, like straight, curve, straight, you cannot use the straight slope feature of the fine road tool. So in here, I'm using the gravel road to mark the start of the curves, as you can see here. And then I'm going to do the gravel road as well for the start of the bridge, or basically the start of the straight segment and the start of the straight segment in here. And these are going to be marking the heights of these positions. So then I do calculations. I'm going to calculate the necessary gradient that I need to do for from the start of the bridge or from the start of the existing zone towards the start of this curve in the middle. I already calculated that. Then I put it into the terrain height of the advanced terrain tools or whatever that mod is called. And I'm just going to put that height to that node in there, as you can see here. I calculated that other height to this point and then just put it there. Now all that's left is to destroy the railroad again, destroy the gravel roads as well, so I can have some space around that, as you can see here, and it's going to leave those holes in the ground. But that's going to be fine because then I can easily just use the straight slope feature like that, and it's going to build the railroad perfectly straight. As you can see, we have quite a deep trench for that railroad, and all that's left is the curve. Unfortunately, straight slope feature is not exactly working for some reason when you connect two segments from one side to the other. So I need to destroy that and build it again. I'm not exactly sure how I did it. I just try to click the straight slope feature on and off. You know, turning it on and off always works, right? So yeah, now it works. As you can see, beautiful trench. This straight segment was kind of weird, so I just rebuild it again using just the straight slope feature again, and now it's fine. Now it's exactly correct. All right, so in here I need to get rid of all the trees. I kind of always want to do that. Also, I'm using prop anarchy so that trees are, from now on, I'm using prop anarchy so that trees are always visible over objects. So I always want to destroy the trees and all the props, like rocks, for example, or fallen trees or whatever, before in areas where I want to build something. Unfortunately, some of the rocks are, buildings. So I also destroyed the stations, but we can easily create them anew like that. I just copied it using move it, put it into the correct positions and move it to the correct height. But these stations are here only to form some kind of a landmark that I'm going to use to build around. The final positions of the stations are obviously going to be, I'm going to build it more precise. So in here I tried to continue doing the highway, but then I realized that I don't exactly have the idea of building the positions. So right now I'm going to use the gravel roads to mark the position of the roads that I want to have in the zone. Now I'm not exactly sure if it makes any sense to explain exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to explain every individual road because you can easily see that after it's finished, but I'm just going to say that this zone, as you can see, it's kind of divided into 4 quadrants by the railroads going pretty much straight through the zone, right? Now, every quadrant is going to have connections towards the stations. And from these stations, we need to kind of loop the roads back into the appropriate quadrant, right? Some of the stations are shared between the quadrants. And as you can see, this is going to be a bit complicated. I'm just trying to draw a very rough shape of the existing zone, or the zone that I want to have. This is a highway connection. And this is very important. This is very important. This took me a long time because I was thinking of how to connect the roads together. I remember that the chat on the stream was absolutely confused. So was I, kind of. I'm just trying to get all the connections right, to just not forget any connections that I need to do here. And as you can see, it's already starting to be a bit complicated. Just a bit complicated, you know. But don't worry, it will only get worse. All right, so that's the lower two quadrants done with the gravel roads like that. Yeah, some looped roads. To be completely honest, now that I look at it, well, on this footage, now that I look at it after I already built the zone, I don't exactly understand what I'm doing here. So, as I said, it's going to be quite apparent what I want to do after I actually do the final positions of the asphalt roads, not these gravel roads. These are only acting as kind of a like a temporary road, so I can see where and how do I need to connect various connections. In here, I'm doing a tram road because I want to have the tram going through the industrial zone to bring all the passengers or workers into the zone. So that's also going to be a thing. I used the asphalt road for that, so it has different color. So I'm not going to confuse it for something else. Now I'm turning my attention to the upper two quadrants of the zone. Again, I'm trying to do these like industrial lanes. I'm obviously going to use the Miyagi Motors buildings. In here, I need to kind of think of a way, again, to move these two lanes towards the station. And some kind of a return path, as you can see here. Just painting it with the gravel road, so I'm not going to forget how exactly it should be. I'm going to stretch those lanes into the other quadrant, the last one. And again, at the end of the quadrant, need to loop it back towards a train station and then back somehow. This area is actually going to be completely different. It's going to be slightly different, yeah. Not exactly going to be like I painted it with the gravel roads. In here, I'm not exactly sure what that road was. Probably from the first quadrant towards the upper station. And this is probably going to be the connection, yeah, to the station going to the downtown area. And as you can see, it's fairly complicated at this point, so there's not really much to explain here. It's just complicated as all hell, as you can see. Now this should probably be the highway return connection. Yep. Yeah, it's just getting more and more complicated. But this is very important to do this. This is like a plan that I need to follow. Also these return paths from the different kinds of zones. So the old zone and the new zone are connected. Now in here I'm rebuilding the railroad. Well, not rebuilding, but making it move forward to the last station. And this railroad is actually going to continue into the direction from the river. And it's going to continue into the parts of the map that I have absolutely no plans for just yet, but there is obviously going to be some construction everywhere on the map, so I need to think about it in advance. And this railroad, sorry, I'm saying highway, I mean railroads. This railroad is definitely going to be needed in the future, in a very distant future, but since I want this industrial zone to be kind of a final shape or in a final state, I don't really want to rebuild it anymore, so I just prepare everything for future construction. Alright, so now I'm destroying the gravel roads because I'm going to start with this quadrant first, and I'm going to finalize it by building the asphalt roads already. So I'm just trying to remember all the gravel roads that I need to have, or the connections that I need to have, and the gravel roads were representing that. Now I'm trying to finalize the position of this station, like I said. So I'm just building a precise road, like that. 10 units from the railroad, like that. I'm going to destroy that helping road, use the move function of the vanilla game, and that's it. The train station is at its correct position. Now it's going to be sunken from the industrial quadrant. That's going to be on the top of it. So I'm just going to build a wall, retaining wall in here, which is the quay, using quay anarchy. And then I'm going to start building these zones. In here I measure the necessary 34 units, I believe, for these Miyagi Motors buildings, and that's kind of the module that I want to build in here. I'm not going to build the lane right next to the wall. I'm going to offset it like this so I can build something on the other side of the road as well. And then just going to do the 34 unit module just like this. And just going to continue these lanes. Anyway, we are coming close to the 20-minute mark of this video. We are actually over it. So this is going to be it for this episode. I thank you for watching, and we are going to continue with this kind of a let's play video in the next episode. So until that time, take care and goodbye.